Welcome back. You're watching The Conversation Chamber, brought to you by the Bermuda Chamber of Commerce.
So let's talk about tourism. We showed a slide which identified a number of properties that had closed over the years. And the issue is not really so much that they closed, because to be quite honest, some of them were just renamed and reopened. But it's really the impact of tourism. What's actually going on with tourism? How do we feel about tourists? What do our children think about tourism? I actually asked the question, I actually wonder, when the mother and the father that was working inside these places, they went home, they told their kids, guess what? That hotel's closing down. I can't work there anymore. What did that child feel about tourism? Did they think it was an opportunity for them in the future? What do they feel about service right now? Because, our service levels are just a little bit different than what they were when we grew up. So tell me what you think about service. What do you think about tourism?
I think that we have a tremendous opportunity in tourism, and the slide that shows the trends in accommodation and the trends in financial performance on hotels really speak to the opportunity that's there. And my exposure to tourism, of course, started in the mid 90s and continued through to now. So I've seen it sort of steadily falling off, and that with foresight and with that you can still make a hotel be profitable, that you can still keep people employed, and you can still provide good service, but that it's not an easy thing to do, but it can be done.
I find that a lot of people don't actually run towards tourism jobs anymore. I mean, they don't pay the same. Some people think about servitude rather than service. Some people don't like putting themselves out there in front of others. You hear a lot of different things about it. I think one of the things that strikes me when I was younger is that my mom, I used to come home at 10 o'clock after school, and I would smell perfume the whole way. My mom and dad were going out to the local hotel, and they were dancing in the little club lounge, whatever it was. What happened to the entertainment in Bermuda? A lot of it was hotel-based, but some of it actually wasn't. But right now, people say Bermuda's boring. How do we fix that? And what part does tourism in Bermuda play?
I think there's a bigger question around entertainment, and it's reimagining what entertainment is, what it looks like, and what's effective. What do people actually want to do? What speaks to their soul? The image of going to a bar and sitting to a bar and after work every day and drinking before going home has drastically changed. Some would say very much for the better. The knock-on of that has had a tremendous economic impact on the smaller bars, lounges, sports clubs, community clubs that relied on bar revenue to support their other functions. But people aren't, many would say for good, people don't have those behavior patterns on the whole as they used to. The knock-on effect on entertainment in a broader sense, what does entertainment look like? What does live music look like? And how do we create an environment that speaks to people, that is sustainable and self-sufficient financially?
I remember when I used to go out, when I was younger, I used to go with my parents because they didn't have a babysitter. So the babysitter was wherever we were going. Probably illegal nowadays. But I remember going and hearing the Toba Brothers. I remember hearing that little island sound that kind of made me feel good if I was a tourist. I don't know what our island sound is anymore. I'm not so sure what that is. I see a lot of entertainers that got the digital board, and you're doing the same thing that can be done in almost every country. It's economically, it's great. It saves money for whoever the operator is, whoever is hiring that person. But what about that three-piece or four-piece band? If you got a three-piece or four-piece band, how are they actually able to make any money? So how do we get Bermudians to be in music industry, to be in a performance industry, to get in front of people and to be able to make money doing that on a regular basis?
So the latest sort of information that I've seen is that there's actually a lot more live musicians in Bermuda than people know about, and that that it's more difficult for them to find employment and find things to do than it is that there aren't people there. And so I think there's part of that question is, what does that look like, comes down to how do you create an environment where entertainment can be successful, back to the kind of the mission of the chamber. And is this there's opportunities there, but how do we facilitate that sort of rebirth, that success in that industry? Because it appears as though there's people that want to be entertained, there's entertainers that want to fulfill that role. How do you put them together in a financially sustainable way?
And if you think about it, so you got a local entertainer that's going to be going all season. How many times can you see them in a year? They might have to have some rotation. They might have to change up their game a little bit. Or we need to have sufficient tourists also coming and watching the entertainment to sustain those entertainers when the locals aren't going there. So I can go see maybe the same program, maybe twice, and then I got some visitors coming. They're going to go again with me, maybe another time. And after that, I'll be like, yeah. But if you've got some tourists that are going up to these clubs or to these shows, I know the Follies used to be on the stage at Hamilton Princess. The Follies, like you would see in Las Vegas. I mean, where's that? We got to do something a little bit more, and we got to figure out how to create an environment, a space that can cause entertainment to be a lot more useful and somehow affordable, while the person providing the entertainment can also get paid and make a living.
Yep.
Tough stuff. Hotels, they come, they go. We have a lot of rooms, and sometimes we don't have a lot of rooms. It's a tough business. Right now, Southampton Princess is closed. And I would think that the rest of the hotels are having a pretty good time because Southampton Princess is closed. It's a supply and demand.
We're seeing that too as well, Mariko, that like the revenue per available room that hotels are getting is off the charts right now. And there's obviously, they've been able to benefit from a slowdown in the wider hotel industry in Bermuda. And so there's less supply of rooms. And whilst air arrivals might be down as well, the hotels themselves, if they're able to get someone in that room, they are benefiting right now. And we are seeing the revenue uptick along those. And occupancy is also back to where it was roughly in line with where it was pre-COVID. And so if you're able to get a hotel room open and get someone in it, the revenues that you're able to generate from that room are being quite substantially higher than it was pre-COVID.
So two sides to that though, right? One side of that is, this is great because we still have some hotel properties that need to be purchased and or renovated and or upgraded. So if we actually can see that some of the hotels are actually making decent money, then that means that hopefully there's a value opportunity for them to want to, or somebody to come and buy a property or spend the money to renovate it.
Yeah, definitely. It makes it more attractive from a developer side of it.
Right.
And then, but obviously we also have to just be mindful of how much can we inch upwards on the RevPAR and the average daily rate numbers too. Because at some point, someone's going to say, is this value for money?
You're basically saying, if you charge too much, maybe we break the elastic band.
Yeah.
So, but that's where the occupancy rate tells the story, right? So you can see that before the financial crisis, sort of the 2006, 2007, when we hit our peak, sort of as an island occupancy numbers. And then you can see the impact of America's Cup, where the lead up to it and then the sort of the hangover from it, it did its job in many ways, where you continue to really get the higher occupancies and the higher average daily rates in the year or two after. And then we've recovered post-COVID back to the same levels as we were at, sort of with the impact of America's Cup and pre-COVID. So what you'll be able to see is that if the average daily rates creep too high, then you'll be seeing the knock-on effect in occupancy, and you can see that in the data, in the PACE reports, in a real live month by month, week by week type basis from inside the hotel. So anybody that's got any property that has a finger on the pulse of setting rates, setting whatever discounting is going on, and watching the occupancies, will be able to optimize that equation to the best of their ability and take advantage of whatever demand is out there in the market.
That sounds really good. Now, I think that's great information for somebody who owns a hotel. How does that affect somebody at home? I mean, really, that means that really I should be able to find a job in hospitality, It means that I should have some secure employment, that the employment's not really going away. Things are looking really, really good, right?
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah. Hey, guys, that was great. Okay, we'll be right back.
Conversation Chamber will be back after these messages.